Hi, I am Mark from the Ateneo Development Studies program. Welcome to my presentation titled Transformative Service-Learning Experience through Participatory Project Management. Studies reveal that for service learning to be truly transformative, it must employ participatory management practices where face-to-face interaction is assumed. However, service learning projects are often short-term, and all forms of academic face-to-face activities in many developing countries, like the Philippines, have been canceled indefinitely due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Nevertheless, this study argues that significant outcomes for partner communities and students in service learning are more likely to result from long-term participatory management of service learning projects, even in a fully online setting. Thus, this case study aims to highlight the strategies used to make service learning projects long-term and participatory. It also measures the effectiveness of such approach in achieving a transformative service learning experience for both students and partner communities. This case study is anchored in the theory of participatory development, where students serve as change agents working in equal horizontal relationships with communities on the management of service learning projects. To gauge its effectiveness, mixed methods with a convergent design was used. Quantitative data was gathered through the pre- and post-test use of the Service Learning Benefit Scale, answered by 28 out of 45 students at the beginning and end of school year 2020-2021 in the Ateneo. One key contact person from each of the 5 partner communities were also asked to answer the Community Impact Scale at the end of the year-long service learning engagement. On the other hand, qualitative data was gathered through process documentation, submitted reflections of the 45 students, and written and verbal feedback from key contact persons of partner communities. Descriptive statistics and paired samples t-test was used to analyze quantitative data, while thematic analysis was used to analyze qualitative data. Let us now go to the results of the study. The first semester of school year 2020-2021 in the Ateneo was divided into 2 quarters consisting of 8 weeks each. For the first quarter, the development study students took a community development course where they have been divided into 6 project management teams, and the central focus of their service learning engagement with their respective partner communities were to define the needs, explore opportunities, analyze the project environment, and design alternatives for defining the service learning project in relation to empowerment strategies. Following the development project phases model of the project management for development professionals, this marked the project identification and definition phase. For the second quarter, the development studies students took a sustainable development course. It is during the second quarter that the same student teams, together with their respective partner communities, remotely developed the overall parameters of their service learning project in relation to sustainable development. In here, they also detailed the Service Learning Project Charter and Implementation Plan, and established the Service Learning Project Board, which serve as the decision-making body when it comes to the trajectory and the changes to be made in the service learning projects. Following the development project phases model of the project management for development professionals, this marked the project setup and planning phases. Finally, for the second semester of the same school year, the development studies students took a development project management course, where the same student teams got to implement, monitor, and evaluate their respective service learning projects with their respective partner communities for the duration of 16 weeks. Following the development project phases model of the project management for development professionals, this marked the project implementation and closure phases. The service learning projects implemented in the second semester by the respective student teams and their partner communities were the following. Ahon Mula sa Alon, or Rise from the Waves. This is an online social advocacy campaign and 3-part webinar series for the benefit of COVID-19 related repatriated overseas Filipino workers all over the Philippines. This was implemented by the students together with the Center for Migrant Advocacy. Barangay Talaibon Water Fund, an online community organizing campaign to establish a community-based water credit system for the benefit of relocatees affected by the explosion of the Taal volcano in Barangay Talaibon, Batangas. This was implemented by the students together with Waves for Water. Lupa ng Araw, or Earth of the Sun. This is an online social advocacy campaign, fundraising, and whole-day webinar and workshop on organizational development for the benefit of 3 young farmer organizations in the Bicol and Panay region of the Philippines. This was implemented by the students together with the Pambansang Kilusan ng mga Samahang Magsasaka or Pakisam. Protect Our Lands, an online social advocacy campaign to protect the rights of indigenous peoples and stop the construction of the Kaliwa Dam. This was implemented by the students together with the Non-Timber Forest Products Exchange Program. Sama-sama Laban sa Pandemya or Collective Fight Against the Pandemic. This is an online COVID-19 awareness campaign and 5-part health webinar series for the benefit of community health volunteers in Caloocan communities. This was implemented by the students together with Gawad Kalinga Ateneo. Tubig para sa Pidpid or Water for Pidpid. This is an online social advocacy campaign regarding water inequality and a mini fundraiser to construct a gravity-fed water system for the benefit of the Aita indigenous community in Sitio Pidpid, Porac, Pampanga. This was implemented by the students together with Waves for Water. When it came to the impact of the year-long service learning engagement on students, the pair samples t-test using the service learning benefit scales resulted in a moderate practical significant difference in the pre- and post-test scores of students when it came to their personal, professional, and civic-mindedness skills. There was no significant difference when it came to the growth of their interpersonal skills. Nevertheless, it must be noted that their interpersonal skills remained high before and after their year-long service learning engagement. Thus, allow me to read a reflection from a development studies student. I realized that strong development projects can be executed even during difficult times. Thus, I should not let seemingly large obstacles stop me from trying to make a positive impact. Further, I realized that real change does not usually happen from just one individual, but rather a group of individuals working together to make a positive change in the world. Lastly, through the feedback from the partner community, I became even more motivated to continue making these positive impacts. I will always remember this experience as the first long-term project where I realized my potential as a change maker. Ultimately, this is my first major step into becoming a socially responsible citizen of the world. However, qualitative results also reveal students unanimously felt that the reliance on remote and virtual engagements has brought them anxiety, feelings of uncertainty, and ultimately exhaustion. This is due to sporadic internet connectivity problems and issues on access to communication devices, which made it a struggle for both students and partner communities to effectively communicate with each other and exchange timely information. Thus, students yearn for the return of face-to-face engagements where they feel that they could be more effective in working together with their partner communities and effectively communicate with their team members. When it came to the impact on partner communities, descriptive analysis of the results of the Community Impact Scale revealed that the partner communities, through their key contact persons, reported that the year-long service learning engagement they had created an overall very positive experience on their part. Specifically, the service learning projects that they have worked together with the students brought very favorable impact in their respective community organizations in terms of acquired skills and competencies, motivation and commitments, personal growth and self-concept, and acquisition of knowledge. On the other hand, they also reported that the service learning projects brought a favorable impact in terms of social capital, organizational operations, and organizational resources. Allow me to read the feedback from a key contact person from a partner community regarding their year-long participatory service learning engagement with the development studies students. Our organization would like to extend our profuse gratitude for this fruitful and engaging partnership. Commendable work of the students, formators, and faculty members involved. This year-long setup is ideal for such partnerships. I recommend consideration of such long-term partnerships with other classes or courses in the Ateneo that have similar or related designs. This study concludes that in spite of the limitations imposed by the online setup, the year-long engagement that employs the use of participatory project management practices through the alignment of 3 online courses across 2 semesters has resulted in a transformative service learning experience for students and partner communities. However, it must be noted that the reliance on the online setup that does not address the digital and technological divide can hinder the fostering of deeper communication among students themselves and with their partner communities. Thank you for listening and watching my presentation. I look forward to your feedback and questions.